This is Cruise News Today with Parker. Good morning, and here's your Cruise News for today. We've got a shocking and developing story that's making waves across multiple media outlets. A suspected spy has just been arrested near a major cruise port, and the details are deeply concerning. Authorities believe the man, a 26-year-old Azerbaijani citizen, was conducting surveillance on military targets and cruise ships, including detailed photos of ships docked at Hania, a busy port in Greece. What's even more alarming? This suspect is suspected to have ties to Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard, and his camera contained thousands of images, including military installations and US Navy vessels. Officials are concerned that cruise ships might have been targeted as soft targets for future attacks or sabotage. Stay tuned for all the details as we dive deeper into the investigation and what this means for your next cruise. Let's dive right into the shocking details of this arrest. As we mentioned earlier, the man, a 26-year-old Azerbaijani citizen, was taken into custody in Crete, which is the largest of the Greek islands. This arrest took place just last week, and the information surrounding it is sending alarm bells ringing for authorities and the cruise industry alike. Initially, it seemed like just another foreign national getting caught for surveillance work, but as investigators dug deeper, the situation became much more serious. The suspect had a staggering number of photographs on his devices, over 5,000 to be exact. These weren't just ordinary vacation photos. These were highly detailed surveillance images of cruise ships, military bases, and US Navy vessels. The photos were taken at various points, but what made these images particularly alarming was the fact that they included shots of cruise ships docked at Hania, a busy port frequently used by tourist ships. The authorities were quick to realize that these civilian vessels might have been under surveillance as potential soft targets. Something you wouldn't expect to hear in the world of cruising. It's a strange and unsettling thought. Could vacationing families and cruise guests be at risk? What adds more fuel to this fire is the fact that the suspect was seen operating in a very calculated manner. He had rented a hotel room that overlooked the local Navy base, and he was paying for everything in cash, which is a well-known tactic to avoid digital tracking. In an era where digital trails are almost impossible to hide, paying in cash allowed him to remain under the radar. But the chilling part? The suspect was reportedly refusing to cooperate when detained. He refused to provide fingerprints, DNA, or access to the encrypted devices found on him. Investigators believe these devices were likely used to send reconnaissance data to others, possibly in a broader plan that could involve future attacks or sabotage. Authorities in Greece are currently probing whether the cruise ships in the area were specifically targeted by this individual. Were they just innocent bystanders to a more significant operation, or were they actually part of a larger espionage effort aimed at gathering intelligence? The Greek government and other international intelligence agencies are working tirelessly to uncover all the facts. And while the ship photos were the most alarming, the investigation is expanding to understand the true scope of this man's actions and intentions. Adding even more complexity to this already unsettling story, a second suspect, a 44-year-old man of the same Azerbaijani nationality, was arrested just a day before the first man in Cyprus. This second individual was conducting similar surveillance work and is now believed to have connections to Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard, a group known for its links to international espionage and terrorism. The most disturbing part of the investigation? Intelligence sources have found a connection between these two suspects. Both were using identical surveillance equipment, including the same type of cameras, memory cards, tripods, and encryption tools. This raises even more questions. Was there a coordinated effort between the two? Were they working together on some larger, more sinister plot? These are the questions investigators are currently grappling with. As unsettling as all of this sounds, it's important to note that the authorities are doing everything in their power to ensure the safety of cruise passengers and military personnel. The fact that these individuals were targeting cruise ships, especially those carrying thousands of tourists, is something that the security community is taking extremely seriously. A senior Greek defense analyst has stated that the presence of civilian cruise ships in the crosshairs of this operation has raised the threat level significantly. For cruise passengers, this might feel like a distant threat, something happening far away from the decks of their beautiful ships, but it's a reminder that we must remain aware of the wider world around us. For now, both the Greek and international authorities have stepped up security measures in the region, especially around major ports used by cruise ships. It's also worth noting that the UK and the US have both issued travel advisories warning of potential terrorist activity in Greece, which could impact travel plans for those thinking about heading to popular Mediterranean destinations. It's a reminder that the world is changing, and even in places where we feel safe, like cruising, it's always a good idea to stay informed and vigilant. As the investigation continues, we'll be keeping a close eye on any further developments. Authorities are working to piece together exactly what this espionage plot entailed and what actions, if any, could be taken to prevent future incidents. With all that said, the most important thing for us as cruisers is to stay informed. It's good to know what's happening around the world, even if it's unsettling. After all, staying aware of potential threats and understanding how cruise lines and authorities are responding can help all of us feel safer during our vacations. While this story may be alarming, the fact remains that cruise ships continue to be some of the safest and most secure vacation options available today. But as with any trip, staying aware, prepared, and informed is key to ensuring a safe and enjoyable experience for everyone on board. We'll continue to keep you updated with the latest information as it comes in. Stay safe and stay tuned for more.